In this lesson, we will show those nature-based solutions focused in the management of a specific group of organisms, such as insects and birds, that act as pollinators, on the management of some natural habitats, such as the creation of small wetlands or the maintenance of urban gardens, and on the improvement of some ecosystem services, such as the establishment of green corridors by increasing the area of trees. So, in this presentation, we are going to look at a battery of biodiversity management solutions included in the LIFE-myBUILDINGisGREEN project and others that we have found by revising other projects that are also working towards the design and implementation of nature-based solutions. Some examples of these projects are Urban Green App, Nature for Cities, or Urbinat. You can find all the projects revised in the final bibliography section of this lesson. Let's start the list of solutions with urban gardens, whose most outstanding benefits are the local seasonal food supply, while improving the relationship of the people who use them with the environment, allowing them to learn about the natural cycles of the land and the conditions of this environment. This can encourage respect for the environment and the need to conserve the resources we use on a daily basis. In addition, in the case of organic urban gardening, it implies a healthier diet, an increase in local biodiversity, and a reduction in the pollution generated by the use of inorganic fertilizers and biocides. Urban gardens can be implemented in a conventional way, directly on solid ground, or associated with other nature-based solutions, such as green roofs or green walls. Another solution related to improving society's perception of the environment is the small-scale breeding and maintenance of livestock species, such as chickens, ducks, sheep, goats, cows, or bees. From these species, products such as eggs, wool, milk, or honey will be obtained. It is very important to know the regulations related to animal welfare to ensure an excellent quality of life for these species we manage. As in the case of urban gardens, these measures allow the self-sufficiency of food and other products at the local level, incorporates a series of educational benefits in the case of schools, and encourages the acquisition of moral and environmental values, allowing understanding the behavior of animals and to develop respect towards them. Linked to the solutions of urban gardens and the establishment of school farms, a community composting system can be implemented. In this way, organic crop and livestock waste can be used to produce fertilizer or compost, which is a sustainable raw material that will improve soil quality. Once again, on-site teaching of the decomposition cycles of organic matter has educational benefits, as well as improving the perception of and respect for the environment. Turning to the management of wild biodiversity, the solutions available include wild gardens. These are landscaped spaces that provide a variety of habitats to encourage the spread of wild species from the nearby environment, such as native and local plants, birds, amphibians, reptiles, insects, and mammals, among other organisms. The aim is to recreate, through the creation of a garden, the condition of the nearby natural environment, allowing interaction with the natural system. The maintenance and investment needs of this type of garden are minimal. In addition, wild gardens play a relevant role in the control of biological pests, while promoting local biodiversity and the planting of native species. A common solution within wild gardens is pollinator modules. These are modules vegetated with flowering plant species that provide nectar and pollen to attract insects and other pollinating organisms. These modules can be installed in walls, green roofs, or in gardens, either on the ground or in compact structures like the one showed in this slide. The restoration or naturalization of urban habitats is also common among the biodiversity management-based solutions. Wetlands are currently recognized as one of the most threatened habitats in the world. To address this threat locally, the creation or recovery of flood-prone land plots is proposed to get urban wetlands that integrate ecosystems with high biodiversity specific for this type of habitats. In addition to acting as reservoirs of biodiversity, these urban wetlands can be part of a number of urban ecological corridors, for example for bird species, and have wide educational and landscape benefits. Examples of urban wetlands include ponds or lagoons, such as the one shown in this figure, which is currently being implemented at the Pordot School. Another example is natural swimming pools. This type of pool is suitable for human bathing and recreates the ecological processes that occur in natural systems. The water in these pools is purified using biological filters and aquatic plants. River courses are another habitat that can be restored as part of biodiversity solutions. In the case of cities, resurfacing water courses that were buried in the past, including recreating the natural banks along the entire length of the water course, has a great impact on increasing biodiversity and ecosystem functions, as well as the citizens' connection with the environment. The planting of new trees and the conservation of the existing tree mass are fundamental parts of the maintenance of the natural urban ecosystem. Depending on the scale, we will find solutions such as urban forests and parks, and other smaller scale interventions such as tree planting in squares and streets. Regardless of the scale, in addition to the biodiversity benefits, trees act as reservoirs of urban carbon and purify the air of pollutants such as nitrogen oxides, carbon dioxide, or certain particles that are particularly harmful to health. It also increases the shaded area, which reduces the heat island effect in the city. Urban forests are designed and managed according to ecological, aesthetic, and even economical principles. One of the most outstanding examples of the Mediterranean urban forest is the Monte del Pardo, which is only 8 kilometers from the center of Madrid and whose extension is more than a quarter of the municipal area of this capital city. On a smaller scale, urban parks are spaces designed for recreational use. From a social point of view, parks can be divided into active recreational areas, such as playground areas designed for social exchange, and passive recreational areas, more related to rest, such as bird watching areas. The development of green recreational areas plays a key role in policies related to health, nature conservation, and spatial planning of cities. Planting trees on streets achieves the same benefits seen in urban forests and parks, but on a much smaller scale. However, when this solution is widely implemented in the different streets and squares of the city, these benefits are multiplied, with the biological corridor effect being of particular importance. Another case where tree planting has significant benefits is through the renaturalization of public car parks. These areas have a very high heat island effect and normally have a low rainwater filtration capacity. Therefore, planting trees in car parks will alleviate the high temperature reached and improve groundwater infiltration, in addition to the biodiversity benefits, green corridor effects, and other ecosystem services already mentioned. The issue of choosing the most appropriate plant species for the various nature-based solutions will be addressed in Lesson 13. However, it is worth mentioning that in the case of tree selection, it is important to take 3 criteria into account. Select tree species with a high evapotranspiration rate to maximize the cooling effect of such trees. Use broad-leaved tree species with large canopies to maximize shade in summer. but with open canopies in winter to allow solar radiation to pass through and hit the surface. And prioritize the use of native species to ensure that the trees are adapted to the climate and soil conditions. Finally, I share in this slide my email address to solve doubts, if needed, and the links of the LIFE project communication channels, such as the website, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube.